other thing that happened was he got excommunicated by the LDS Church. Now, there are some outlets that have reported he asked for this himself. Some people have reported that it happened as a result of his legal troubles.
Sure.
And him taking off. I think both would have been reason for them to excommunicate him. But I think why this is so important is because many people have speculated that it's this event that kind of freed up his mind in some way. Right, Gibbs? Like in a way, he was no longer bound by the tenets of that religion, of that organization, of everything that he had kind of grown up with.
I think the struggle that he was having with the church earlier is going to be lifted and no longer a problem now. Now he can feel like what he's doing is, it's who he is, and it's wrong. But he doesn't have that church in the background telling him it's wrong.
Well, and I think that's the problem, right? For society, that's not good.
No.
Because that may have been one of the big things holding him back from actually doing some of the things that he wanted to do, that struggle that you talked about. Because I do believe in his mind, I think he thought he was free now to pursue some of his desires. Now, I do think he knew full well they were wrong.
Well, I think he cared.
But no, because it's an urge, right? It's a desire, it's an urge, it's an addiction, whatever term you want to use. Some people can fight it forever, and some people can only fight it for so long. And some people say, you know what? I don't want to fight it. I want to do what I want to do. I know it's wrong, and I don't care.
That's the problem, man.
And it was during the late 70s and into the early 80s that Archbishop molested a large number of boys. And obviously, he began murdering boys as well. We said that up front. And I mentioned it, right? There are some reports that indicate he got back into the Big Brothers program using his alias Roger Downs and molested more children that way.
Well, it worked for him, so of course he's going to keep going back to the thing that works for him.
Yeah, because he can't go back in as Arthur Bishop.
No.
They know who he is. But who's Roger Downs?
They don't know.
We don't know. It really gives, this guy was no dummy. I mentioned it earlier. He was intelligent, but even more than that, I think he was cunning. And I think those are different things.
Oh, yeah.
You can be both.
Sure.
And I think as a killer, that's pretty scary.
But I think he hit it right on. He was definitely cunning.
And I point to the fact that he befriended a young boy whose father had been murdered in a bar fight. The kid had a mother who didn't really pay much attention to him. She wasn't at home a lot. She was out partying. There were reports that she just wasn't attentive.
Right.
Let's put it that way. So Bishop cultivated this sick type of illegal relationship with this kid. And I hate to use the word relationship because, I don't know, normally you kind of think of that as a good thing. You and I have a relationship.
Sure.
But I don't know what else to call it. It was sick. It was twisted. It was against the law.
Yeah.
And obviously this was not a good relationship.
Definitely inappropriate.
He gave this boy money. He bought him expensive gifts. But he preyed on this kid. Took advantage of him sexually. Had him pose for pictures to use as his own sick child pornography.
Right.
I mentioned it, right? He had a hard time getting it.
Sure.
He's going to make it himself.
Now he's going to have his own smut stuff.
But on top of that, he also had this boy introduce him to some of his friends who then later became his victims of either molestation or murder or both. Today's episode is brought to you by Let Him Go, a new thriller from Focus Features starring Diane Lane, Kevin Costner, and Leslie Manville. Following the tragic loss of their son, retired Sheriff George Blackledge, played by Kevin Costner, and his wife Margaret, played by Diane Lane, must do whatever it takes to rescue their young grandson from the clutches of a dangerous family. And they will stop at nothing to take back what's theirs. Based on a novel by the New York Times acclaimed author Larry Watson, Let Him Go is in theaters November 6th. Ladies, what an amazing time we live in. Our face unlocks our phone, which hardly anyone uses to actually talk with anyone anymore. We can now have conversations with our watch. The other day, my wife ordered something just by talking into a speaker. But one thing has remained the same: coloring your hair. The options have been go to a traditional salon and spend lots of time and money, or grab a box of hair color at the drugstore that never works the way that you hope it will. But now there's a new way. Madison Reed. Get ammonia-free, multi-dimensional hair color delivered to your door starting at $22. We continue to have tons of listeners. Try Madison Reed and then send us an email raving. The only thing they're upset about is that they didn't try it sooner. So you can try it too. Visit madison-reed.com, and right now, TCAT listeners get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Go to madison-reed.com and use our code TCAT. That's code TCAT. TCATT. Bishop committed his first murder in October of 1979. 4-year-old Alonzo Daniels was outside playing. Unfortunately, Gibbs, Alonzo and his family lived in the same apartment complex as Arthur Bishop. So it was around noon on this day. He was at work. It's lunchtime. Okay, I'm going to run home to the apartment. I'm going to grab something to eat. Well, getting to his apartment, he spotted Alonzo. He stopped to talk to the little boy, and then he lured him into his apartment by offering him candy.
The whole candy thing.
Well, how many times did we hear growing up?
Yeah.
Don't take candy from strangers. And, I mean, this is the type of situation where that saying came from. The problem is, this kid's only 4 years old. I mean, how many 3, 4, 5-year-olds don't want candy?
You're right. They don't know any better yet. Right? They don't know. You can tell them, but they don't really know.
That's what I'm saying. You can say the words. Do they really understand what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. 3, 4. I mean, you're talking about very young kids, and
easy to manipulate their mind at that point.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of pedophiles and killers of kids over the years have used that type of thing. Hey, candy, toys.
Yeah.
I found a puppy. I mean, you can go through all the different scenarios that people have used over the years.
I'd probably get half our listening audience on the puppy one, and then the band. Hey, we got free puppies in the band. They'd be like, boom, because they love puppies. Who doesn't love puppies? You get in a van for a puppy.
I do love puppies. But he did, Gibbs. He got him back into his apartment using this idea of candy. But once he got him in there, he began touching this boy inappropriately. He had him sitting on his lap eating this candy. But Alonzo must have known something wasn't right with this situation. He began screaming. He began crying. And he started to threaten Art that he was going to tell his mother.
Good.
So, good as a 4-year-old.
Right.
You're recognizing that someone is doing something to you that they shouldn't be doing.
Right. It's not healthy.
No, and you're saying, hey, don't do that. I'm going to tell my mom. But Arthur Bishop couldn't have that, right? He can't have a little kid telling somebody else that he's a pedophile. So he took the little boy in the bathroom and he hit him in the head with a hammer. He then filled the bathtub with water, and he drowned little Alonzo while he was unconscious.
Vicious.
I want to play a very short clip of Bishop talking to police about it in a later interview.
I had a hammer close by. I just picked it up and hit him on the head with it while he was trying to get dressed.
So obviously I know that's not very long, but even with that length of time, I mean, how matter of fact was that?
Pretty matter of fact. Here's what I did.
And Gibbs, I know these cases are tough. Right? For me, it's impossible to imagine how someone could want to sexually assault a child, but to think that someone could then, that easily, the way he's saying he did it, hit a small boy on the head with a hammer, and then dunk him underwater and drown him.
Without any remorse.
And then tell police as though it was walking out to get the mail from the mailbox. I mean, that's literally the way he said it. And we're going to hear from him a couple more times. It's not going to be any different. But this was his first murder. And it seems as though it was pretty spontaneous. I don't think he had planned to do it, So I think after it happened, he started panicking. First, that someone was going to be knocking on his door, maybe the police, to haul him off to jail. And then secondly, all right, what was he going to do with this boy's body?
Oh, that's a good point. He's got to do something.
And if you haven't thought about it ahead of time, you don't have a murder kit or a Dexter-type kit to use, right?
Most people don't.
Most people don't.
Right.
But what he did is he ended up calling in sick to work for the rest of the day. He wrapped Alonzo's body in plastic garbage bags. Then he put it into some type of big box. He later told police he could hear Alonzo's mom outside in the yard of the apartment complex. She was screaming, calling out for her little boy.
Just the panic itself, just setting in, and I could imagine being there, hearing her screaming and crying, where's my 4-year-old boy?
Yeah, and then he said later he walked right past me as he carried the box out and put it into the trunk of his car.
That had her son in it. Wow.
He ended up driving to a remote spot in Cedar Valley, and he buried the little boy's body. So to me, I don't know, Gibbs, everything has kind of been building to this, right? He probably most likely started with child pornography. He's had these type of sexual urges for a long time. Then he did begin molesting young boys, and now he's murdered one.
Yeah, he's definitely elevated up in his sick world.
Yeah, he would later tell police that he killed Alonzo because he was scared. He didn't want to be caught. But I also think after it happened, he got something from it that he probably wasn't expecting. Because it wasn't like he only killed people when he thought he was going to get caught from here on out.
Right.
Or he never killed again. He got something from the actual act of murdering this boy.
Oh, absolutely. You got a rush out of it, I'm sure of it.
Now, I think Archbishop thought, okay, I don't want to kill kids, but there was something to it that now I'm missing. How do I get that? So what he chose to do was to kill animals. So there's a little warning here for those of you that don't want to hear about animals being harmed. We know there's a lot of people out there.
Right.
Just skip 15, 30 seconds ahead if you don't want to hear this part. So I mentioned it. He didn't plan on killing Alonzo, but he did later say that he got a thrill out of it. He felt powerful. And he later told investigators that he drowned as many as 15 puppies over the next year or so because, as he put it, their cries reminded him of Alonzo.
It made him feel powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't stress it enough. This is one extremely sick and twisted individual.
Yeah. Yeah, the way that he did what he did with Alonzo, and now he's doing this with the puppies. It's,
So that must have satisfied him for a time. Because Bishop's next murder wasn't until a year later, October 1980. This time his victim was an 11-year-old boy named Kim Peterson. And Kim was introduced to Bishop by this young boy who Art had been paying money to for pictures and sex. So they all apparently met up at a roller skating rink one night. Big, right, in the late 70s, 80s,
Sure.
Early 80s. I remember going roller skating quite a bit when I was a kid.
well, I know you were really good. You tell everybody all the time how good you were, going out there, doing your moves.
No, actually I wasn't. I wasn't that good at all.
Doing
But
the hustle.
There were those people that could do all the fancy moves. I was
Oh,
lucky
yeah.
just not to fall down. But
You know that guy that did those fancy moves back then?
Uh-huh.
He's probably still there today. Yeah.
Except there is no roller skating rink.
He's just out in that parking lot doing his thing with
Yeah.
a whistle around his neck.
Now, after the meeting at the roller skating rink, there was another meeting arranged through this young boy between Arthur and Kim, and it was for them to go out to Cedar Valley on the pretense that they were going to hunt rabbits, right? So Art's going to take this kid out to hunt some rabbits. But once they got out to the place that was really kind of pretty close to Alonzo's grave, Arthur asked Kim if he would pose for pictures for $100. That's a lot of money.
Back then,
in 1980, $100 to an 11-year-old boy. That was a ton of money. Yeah. And he accepted. Art took the pictures, but after he did, he shot Kim in the head multiple times. But as with his previous murder, it seemed as though he was not prepared. It was almost as if he didn't plan it out. He didn't plan to shoot this kid. He didn't have anything with him to bury the body. Now, he had a gun, so maybe he did somewhat plan it. So what he chose to do was to hide it under some trees. And then he drove back to town, got a shovel, but when he returned, he had sex with this boy's.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25.
But who's to say that's not? He could have chosen to do it a number of different ways. Right? He could have forced himself on this woman. He had a gun. But he chose to have sex with there's a reason. I'll be damned if I know what it is, but there's a reason.
On first down, Rodgers. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. A bad start there. A big loss on the first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
That they had seen with Kim at the skating rink. Police even had some sketches produced, but it didn't lead anywhere. And it was another year later, October of 1981, when Art Bishop lured another.
So they had the big loss on that first down pass play, and facing a second and long.
And the way I understand it,
throwing now is Rodgers. That's taken in by the tight end, Josiah. Back on that one, leads to third down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a game in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where he, the big tight end, is so good. That middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to get in the middle as well. But he's got it. That's an excellent job right there on third down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started. And that would have been a first down. Instead, he saw the contact on time, no penalty. And before this drive could get wings, it's fourth down.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away. Call 38 yards officially. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10.
That's less time for someone to see and become suspicious. They got back to the apartment. Danny was playing with, some toys. But eventually, he got bored.
So first and 10 now from the 30.
It doesn't take long. They want their mommy, they want their daddy.
Here's Allen to throw it. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Not what they had in mind there. This is going to go as a loss of 4.
Eventually, and a lot of times pretty quickly, so he started crying. And when he did, Bishop, he later told investigators that
looking to throw again on second down. Got a man over the midst. Devontae Parker complete. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Allen's going to try and throw on third down. And that is incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a fourth down. Well done.
So on fourth down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi.
It got so much more publicity than the other one. I mean, his first victim was only 4 years old.
it 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. McKenzie now to return it. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10.
What it resulted in was at the time.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of the game.
Those don't ever go away.
Tackle me through him.
And what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding where to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Ball into 24 and a 2nd and 11.
Either get back in their car or go to the next place. And then he later drove back out to see the back.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. McKenzie holding it in. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down.
Finding out later that your son's looked right by you as you were searching for your son and had his body in the buckets. And literally walked right past you.
Throwing out 1st down is Rodgers. He's going to look downfield for Henry.
Big question this guy.
And he will bring this across midfield to the 49-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball. And I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. They went 3 and out on their first drive. Things already looking better here. 1st and 10. Allen off the play fake. And he's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he's taken down inside the 30. 10 yards there. Good enough for the Jags' 1st down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
He's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. They'll get this out in a hurry to Parker. It's going to be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 10.
And now there's a carry heading left. And he's going to be close to a 1st down as the tackle is made at the Texans' 13-yard line. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings that they kind of regretted they didn't touch the ball? You know, he should have touched the ball last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that already.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
4 yards.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
9-yard line, 2nd and 6. To the shotgun snap to Allen. Flushed out right. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Austin Hooper. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jags have taken the early lead. And this is up and good. The score now 7-0 Jaguars.
The score, Jaguars 7, Texans nothing.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Taken from about the 12. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape up past the 30.
Over 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
Something like that, and the thought never trying again, or it goes the other way, and you experience something that, like you just said,
Few Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
It's now 2nd and 6.
Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6.
Scared him so bad because he thought he was
From the gun, it's Rodgers. Hunter Henry brings it in. And he'll go out near midfield. 15 yards on the play, first down.
You got to kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide it. With the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
2nd and 6 at the Jaguars' 47-yard line.
After 1-7-0 on EA Sports.
Jaguars 7, Texans 0.
child. He's making these statements in such a matter-of-fact type of way. It's scary. I mean, it sounds like you coming over before we tape the episodes, telling me what's going on with your people. It's no different. Yeah. That's what I'm hearing from this guy. That's what went down this week.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. And again, this time to tailback. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
The one advantage having a lead guy in the middle of the defensive line because not only does it take up the space and let the linebackers run free, they can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Taking advantage of now for a number of years. I mean, this relationship that he had with this young boy, it went on against really 4 or 5 years. So that's bad. It did. And a lot of legal inappropriate contact.
From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Escaping the pressure right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
A deep ball down that right sideline, and he made sure that he put it where either his guy was going to catch it or no one was.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
I think he was passing himself off his
throwing again. Rodgers. Jaguar pressure. Jaguar sack. Jannard Avery in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Enough to start out a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And Old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
What it turned out to be was him offering money if the boy would pose naked.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down.
Pretty much the same as he did with his very first victim.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Darren Lee picks it. The 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Short throw, pick 6 right there, those linebackers. They love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And it's now 14-0.
This is really what ultimately
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. On the return, here's Corey Coleman. And not much happening on the return as they get this to about the 23.
23-yard line.
I think at that point, because they couldn't explain what happened to him. Why didn't he go on the trip?
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. Okay.
Dude, why are you getting...
At the 38-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
That should have been a touchdown.
They needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling with it.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Operating for the gun, Rodgers. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that could be the make or break difference on a play. This time you had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. From the gun, Rodgers. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just steered the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside.
Now I get it. If you've killed 30 or 40 people over the span of 20
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
Babe, I think I got a package.
Here's Rodgers to throw. On the screen, Bernard.
When you run a screen pass really well, you gotta like the look of it, because so many parts come together to make it work well. Offensive linemen, when they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
But he did finally admit, right? That's 5 murders. And he gave me at least
Throwing his Rodgers on 3rd down. Open is Metcalf. He's got it. And he gets this one to midfield. He's brought down. 10 yards there. Good enough for a Texan 1st down.
The exception of Danny Davis was the only way that he didn't do that. I don't know why. That hard. Yeah, the strange thing about him is that
They'll get this out wide to Metcalf. No gain there on incompletion. 2nd and 10.
That was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
he took detectives to his home and he brought out his collection of them. Gives him 310.
2 minutes to play, 1st half. It's 14-0.
Had taken himself 310. Now, it doesn't mean there were 310 different.
A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now, we'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. On 2nd down, it's Burke. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A gain there of 21 yards. They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all living on defense. Able to stop this guy, unable to do it on that play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of their calls, they're setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now. Hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Rodgers now to throw. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football. And the Jags grab it, and the return stops at the 39-yard line. Every week we hear talk about create turnovers. In particular, they wanted to force some fumbles. They got one right there.
And it shows you how the game has changed over time. It used to be good enough for a guy to get a sack of a quarterback in the pocket. Now, if you come to the sidelines and knock the ball away, your coaches are upset with you. All right? So if you're a quarterback, it starts all the way back in the youth leagues. Take care of the ball, take care of the ball, take care of the ball, because here come the defenders.
16 yards. First down, Jacksonville.
On first down, Allen. This is Hamler on the receiving end. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
Now that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, and maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on first down. They're heading to change now.
He's got the first down here inside the 30. So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. On play action, Allen running right through it and finding the tight end Hooper. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll make it 3rd down. In a double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Amani Hooker. And when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
The run on first down gets him a couple up to the 27.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going. And then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0. As we'll get you over to Orlando, standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. The Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in the second half. Takes it at the 7. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now a handoff as they run outside. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down about the 39. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, Hard to get them started again occasionally.
Firing quickly is Allen. That's complete. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard. Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
To the air, Allen. It's caught by Parker. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
I kind of can understand what they're saying. Right. The prosecution had wanted the detectives read aloud Bishop's
So they fake the handoff. Now Allen.
I can't pass a kid on the street.
His throw caught at about the 5. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. A 24-yard touchdown. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead.
It's just not something.
And it is now 21-0.
Makes the score Jaguars 21, Texans nothing.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
25-yard line.
This is what he told the cops in his confession. It was scary, man.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down in the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing, and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
A person in this category that is a scary thing. But I'm pretty sure, Gibbs, that confession is just about all.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
$10 million come on and say, this is why he did it. He couldn't help himself. Did you hear that?
Now a first carry from Javon Brown. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Now let's check on the call. So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle, a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
Here's Rodgers, operating from the gun. This one into the hands of Metcalf. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 10.
Brings up 2nd down.
2nd and 10. Thanks for tagging along with us here from Houston, Texas.
Yeah, I would say that for people that are not vehemently opposed to the
Operating from the gun, Rodgers. And right side, Hitler's got it. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, getting different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
They were looking to throw, holding at a big right tackle.
It's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. Get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually got to pick up a holding call.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long?
Chad, I think this is a real setback for civilized people. Now, of course, his attorney didn't move Bishop to get the death penalty.
And again, it's Rodgers. And it's complete. Henry. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. I just thought it was
Rodgers again now. They'll find Metcalf. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice game there. This one goes for 20.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And Rodgers intercepted the third time. Picked up by Von Bell. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his second interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Dexter Lawrence just would not be loss of 7. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have to contend with a 3rd and 13. Play action. Now it's Allen. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And he will be out of bounds as the fourth quarter comes to an end with an INT. Back now in Houston. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. On first down, it's Burke. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
Well, apparently he went on a pass. Like, I don't know if it was a strike or strike.
Now a play fake. Rodgers.
He only did it like a day and a half.
Flush to his right. Now he'll pull it down. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down around the 21 and 22. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
Okay, this is the one thing I can do. Maybe he was just one of those people that didn't want to, shine on himself.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
As far as last words go,
Looking from the gun, Rodgers. Left side here, taken in by Metcalf. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down. That sets up a 1st and goal.
This game was decided a while ago. That completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Moving the pressure right toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
and as a result, my life has been.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now.
He said, I leave this life.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. His pass caught with the 4. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal. They'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. And it is caught. Touchdown, Texans. DK Metcalf. his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Texans use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Zerline connects on the extra point, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
23-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. If they can score here, they have a chance to make this a 3-possession game and all but put things to bed. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to take it down.
Definitely want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
Kim Peterson's parents basically looking for his body. It is reported that when police were getting ready to arrest him right before arrest him,
Allen off the play
they were
fake.
actually trying to get him before this guy's arrest. Had nothing to do with
Flushed out right. And this is going to be incomplete. Critical play in this football game. If they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
It has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Pilardi now on the punt as he sends this one away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And that will come the offense as they take over.
38-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive. And it'll really take a big win. And getting this just shy of midfield, they spotted at the 49. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive. It's a quick first down. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can pull and give you a big play now.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. From the gun, Rodgers. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
It's an interesting theory.
To throw again, Rodgers. Left side by Robinson. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
Said they looked 3-4 years younger than what they really were. I think he picked on very small kids, victims that he would have considered easy targets. That's what I thought. And deep down, I think he was a coward.
So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score.
But it's a very interesting theory.
To the right side and complete to Metcalf. And they'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Great way to convert on 3rd down there. 21 yards to play. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Into the red zone. It's averages. That's complete right around the 8. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. They'll contain him to just 4. Second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
That's it, Gibbs. That's it.
Riders to throw once more. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. J.J. Watt in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of football before he knew it was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning.
This is caught for a touchdown. So everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game over. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
On the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Down for the touchdown at Zerline. They'll kick it away. Fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
That's actually crazy. I do like to the kind of behind the scenes of where these phrases came from.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And this game not quite in hand yet. We'll likely see all 3 timeouts defensively and then reassess where we are. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
2nd and 9 at the 24-yard line.
Something's good. They would get a kick out of it. Because sometimes Gibby is very on point. He's very alert. Sometimes he says some stuff that I don't even understand.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Brought down at the 30-yard line. A 7-yard gain on the play. And it's 3rd down.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And they will finally get him to the ground at the Texans' 32-yard line. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
You just have to keep the same name. Actually, his name is but he goes by.
Allen down to a knee, and that should just about do it. Taking that heat, maybe just a sigh of relief. They withstood a big fourth-quarter comeback, able to hold on.
It certainly looked like they had things going their way, didn't it, in the 4th quarter? They had to just hold on, as you said, furious assault on them. They were able to get it done, take a knee, and head to the locker room for the win.
Charles, we saw a comeback bid function. Still a little short, but give them credit.
We just talked about it. You get more comfortable, right, as time goes by. The other thing, I was working full time. Yeah, back then, and doing a lot of research, and so I'm in a different place too.
This is that newness, right? We were trying to figure out how should this sound? How should we do this? And
now it's just kind of like, all right, this is how we do it. And if people like it, they like it, and if they don't, they don't. And that's how we roll.
It works well. I like what we do.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Gibby. It's Jess from Pennsylvania, currently working from home due to the virus, so hope you guys are safe. I'm a new listener, and I was listening to you guys, and I didn't see an episode for Elizabeth Bathory, and I was reading up on her. It looks like she's one of the most prolific serial killers from way back in the day, talking like 1300s. I believe, but I was wondering if you guys would do an episode on her. I think it'd be really interesting to hear you guys do it, your take on it. Again, hope you guys are staying safe. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, she is definitely on the list.
Yeah.
What I will say is it's kind of hard to get a lot of newspaper articles from the 1300s. I know, Gibby, you have a special subscription.
I do. Special access.
Dark age subscription access from the dark web. But, again, definitely on the list. Those older cases are harder to me in the fact that, okay, the information you're going to find